Good evening, boys and girls, and thank you for tuning into this week's tutorial. I'm getting a lot of requests for the first-person shooter, as you can see here, and Frozen Terror 2 Submergence, one of my favorite experiments that I had done. So, let's get started on this, and there's going to be two steps to this process. First step is going to be to animating the background. So what you want to do is, on the background, is you're going to make your set, and you want to make sure that you have high walls, and you want to make sure that you got it pretty much filled out, and also that your set could be disassembled pretty easily because you're going to be taking apart walls as you travel through your set. So what you're going to do is act as though your character were moving through the set. You're going to animate like you're walking forward, you take your picture, you're walking forward, you take your picture, you're walking forward, you take your picture. Now let's say you want to turn the corner. That's when it comes handy to take apart your set. You remove the walls that are blocking the view, and you just have your guy turn. It's fairly simple, but it takes a lot of time, and you want to make sure that you get it right because you don't want it to look kind of weird. I did make that mistake in Frozen Terror. You guys have probably caught me on that, but you know, it's fun to experiment. Now let's say you want to shoot a character. Boom. Let's say this guy's here, you just don't like the way he looks. His gold chain is making you mad. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait until where he's going to get shot crosses the center of the screen. So let's say he's over here a little bit more. You're going to have your guy walk through, walk through, walk through, and when he gets to the center of the screen, that's when you have the gunfire, that's when he gets shot, that's when you can animate him falling down. Boom, he's gone. Now, if you don't want to take the time to animate the background set and all that stuff, there's another way you can do it. I haven't done this, but you can go and try and experiment. It may be fun. Don't do any animation until the guy gets shot. So what I'm suggesting is you do a live action walkthrough, like you're walking through the set, and then you turn, and then when you get to the point where you want to shoot, stop the live feed and do animation of him getting shot and then falling, and then go back to a live feed of the set moving. Try it out. It may work for you. Alright, so that's part one. Part two of this is going to be the forward round, which is going to be the arms and the gun. And basically what you're going to do is, as you've seen here, is you're going to create a stand that's going to hopefully be the same color as the arms, and you're going to use clay to attach the arms to the stand of the same color. The reason why you want the same color is because if you use red and you have white arms, it's going to have like a light reflection, it's going to be harder to edit, and it's going to just kind of be a little weird. So pick the same color, stick with the same color. Also, arms are going to be upside down. And the reason is because you're actually not going to be filming this whole thing. You're only going to be filming from the elbows up. So I'm zoomed out just because I want you guys to see what's going on. If I were going to animate this, I would be in close on that. Also, pick a background that you can edit out really easily. So for example, I have white arms, yellow hands, black gun. I'm choosing my blue background because I can edit this out easily. What you're going to do is you're going to set out to create certain animations. For example, you're going to create a walking animation, a firing animation, maybe even a reloading or a kicking animation, as I had done in Frozen Terror 2. And so you're just going to animate that. But you only need to animate it once, so it's fairly simple. And you may end up with like 60 pictures like I did. And you want to keep it simple. The less pictures, the better, and I'll explain why in a second. So basically, you're going to animate, say you're walking. You're just going to move it, take your picture, move it, take your picture, move it, take your picture. Then you're going to go all the way back, and then you want to end up in the same spot that you started, because these animations are going to connect. So you're going to have your walking animation connect to your firing animation, or connect to any animation, and they just need to have a point where you can loop off of each other. Then, after you take all your pictures for this, you don't need to animate it in any order. Just have all your pictures in and have them ready to go, have them organized so you can plug them in as needed. So after you get all those pictures taken, you're going to edit out that background in every single picture. Unless you have a really good background that you can edit out in the video editing program, you're going to have to edit out as a solid color. For me, I chose green. As you can see here in the actual images I had used for the Frozen Terror 2 movie, I chose a green background. It was easy to edit. Now, to edit this out, there is a free program linked down below that you can download. I don't know if it works on Mac, but it works on PC, and it's going to get rid of the background color, and hopefully it will allow you to layer your background or your foreground on top of your background. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to go through your background animation and you're going to count all the frames. For example, let's say frame 157 has a guy getting shot at. What you want to do is you want to animate the foreground so that on frame 57 he's firing. And so let's say you have him walking all the way up to frame 130. You just want to animate to that, and you can just loop it so like it equals 130 frames of looping, and then maybe at 131 he starts going back, he turns. At frame 150 he sees the guy, he starts lowering his gun. From 157 he fires his gun. Now you can do the gunfire a couple different ways. The way I did it is I sandwiched the gunfire in between the foreground and the background. I did this in After Effects, and I created a lens flare and like a little burst fire, and I just had that going every time the gun fired in between the foreground and the background. You can also edit the gun animation or the gun picture in Photoshop to have a burst, maybe a couple bursts, and just alternate between those in your animation. So those are two ways of doing that. So if you are interested and you want to try this, I recommend it. Just do it, just experiment, have fun. If you want the pictures, if you want the file of the pictures from the Frozen Terror movie, send me a message. Say, hey, this is my email, can you email them to me? Please be a subscriber though, and please have the intention of using them because I want to see what you guys are doing. Just play around with this, experiment, have fun. Send me a video response. I want to be wowed by you guys. I want to see your stuff. If you send me a video response, I'll link to it in the next weekly tutorial. Also, getting more tutorial requests, just send them to me. Send them in a PM. If you leave a comment, if it has a lot of thumbs up on it, I'll probably consider it. I have a lot of stuff in line for new tutorials and everything. So just keep sending them in, keep watching, and thank you.